All right, we're cueing the music that has nothing to do with us. Welcome to the Calling All Hero messed it up already.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring the music down and
Yeah.
Calling All Heroes Comics Movie Review Podcast. I'm George.
I'm Tim.
That means it's George and Tim. And we are going to review today, well, we were supposed to review Spawn. Spawn, the 1997 movie based on the Todd McFarlane Image comics that pretty much changed the face of comic books in the early 90s.
It did.
Unfortunately, I don't think the movie did the same.
It was not as earth-shattering as we would have expected, no.
Yeah. Came out, you said, 1997?
97.
It's a little... I thought that's later than what I thought. You
I thought it was
early.
closer to, I was thinking like 94, 95, but, I've been wrong before. Yeah. Actually, I've been wrong a lot.
I'll be wrong a bunch of times before this podcast is over. So, yeah, well...
I remember going to see it, and I was like, big Todd McFarlane fan at the time. I still am.
Yeah.
And I remember going to see it in the theaters. I'm like, man, this is okay, but it didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
But like you were talking earlier about how everybody was just like over the top about the CGI and the cape and everything, how the cape, all this money they put into like the cape because it was like a big part of the costume.
Right.
And it was because we had nothing to compare it to.
Right.
It was like you're saying, CGI was still in its infancy. So.
My thing with it, I remember not being very impressed with it at all. I didn't care for it at all. And I think that just, I guess to make a comparison, the Batman 1989, you had said, man, you wait so long that when you get it, it was like a real standout movie for you.
But we weren't waiting long for Spawn.
Well, it was...
Technically.
It's that, and even looking at it then, it's not like I'm revisiting it now and going, man, it doesn't hold up. I didn't think it was that good of a movie.
It didn't hold up to begin with.
Yeah, I remember...
Sorry, Todd.
Yeah, I remember leaving the movie with my buddies Doug and Dave, and us all kind of being like...
Wah, wah. Yeah.
And, the big pitch was the cape. I remember thinking at the time, saying, this cape looks so realistic, and it's so amazing and all that. And I remember thinking that sounded a lot like the promotional material for the Christopher Reeve Superman. You will believe a man can fly. That's the hook.
Okay, yeah.
It just didn't quite mesh up.
Now, I liked Leguizamo as the clown. I thought the clown was like a highlight of the movie. I enjoyed him as the clown. And then, the animation... It kind of reminded me of like the choppy stop animation stuff, like the King Kong stuff from the 30s.
Yeah.
When Violator was like tearing things up and everything was all grainy and everything. That was kind of
Ray Harryhausen kind of flavor.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. To switch into that, and then we'll go back to like real time, and there's Al Simmons there, jacked up with his costume and his mask, and and on the street bike, that was pretty hokey. There was a street bike scene, and the street bike gets like a little protective layer made. It looks like it's made out of like plastic. The cape like all gloms around him. It just looks like somebody took a garbage bag and like melted it with a blowtorch or something. Like, what is that?
Like it would have been cheaper if they'd have done that.
Probably would have, and it probably would have been a lot cooler.
They could have spent some of that $40 million on something else.
Yeah, that was a budget, $40 million.
That's unbelievable.
In '97,
yeah,
$40 million.
That's like I don't know what that is.
Somebody got paid a lot of money for something that.
Well, and you stop and think about it, and maybe we could look it up. But I'm going to take a look right now and just see. But while I'm looking this up,
I'm ready.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking up now, but I'm thinking Armageddon. That came out in 1997 as well.
Yes.
And the CGI, I saw bits and pieces of it not too long ago, and it holds up. The effects, I think, hold up to pretty much now.
Right. Plus, it's got Steve Buscemi in it.
Well, how can you not? How can you not like that? All right. Well, I stand corrected because Spawn was made for $40 million.
Yeah.
Armageddon was made for $140 million.
There's the rub.
Although you figure Bruce Willis got probably half of that.
A little bit.
He got
a little more.
Michael Bay took the rest.
Yeah. So we had Martin Sheen and Spawn going through the big names. Michael J. White. Leguizamo. What's your favorite quote from Spawn?
My favorite, if you mean the quote that I think lives in infamy, it's like the worst.
You can't delete it
ever.
Can't delete it from your brain.
He basically, I guess, he's trying out his cape and flying and whatnot. He lands on the side of that building and literally looks right into the camera, as much as you can look into a camera with a mask on that looks super shitty, and just takes his fist, kind of like a up and down fist motion, goes, hell yeah. I'm like, oh. That's just painful.
So I laughed when I saw that part because I watched it. I did my homework where you didn't, but that's okay.
Well, you know what that was, though? That was, for anybody that went and saw Deadpool and was all happy about it. For me, that was my generation. I just got out of high school. That was our generation's, holy crap, they're going to make like a superhero movie that's edgy and hard, you know?
Right.
And we were waiting for it, and the last time that happened on any level was The Crow, which to me is one of the greatest comic book related films ever.
It's just one of my top 5 comic book related.
Ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this was still like not exactly a superhero, but I think Spawn's closer to a superhero than The Crow is.
Yes. Crow was kind of an anti-hero.
Yeah, and so with Spawn, we're sitting there like, okay, man, this is going to be really good, really edgy, and I remember hearing things about it being rated R, and then it comes out it's PG-13.
Yeah.
And John Leguizamo, I hate him.
I don't really care for him, but I did like the clown.
I think he was in Carlito's Way, and he's the one that killed Al Pacino, and I hated that.
Because you see the clown, you don't really think of John Leguizamo because he's in a clown costume.
I do my best not to think of John Leguizamo ever.
Yeah, true.
But, yeah.
Well, all right. I mean, that being said, they're going to do the reboot. I mean, McFarlane just announced that, at Comic-Con, San Diego?
Yeah.
So we talked about that a little bit on our regular podcast, didn't we? It's going to be R-rated.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
All gloves are off.
So who do you put in the role in that?
I don't know. I have no idea. Hopefully not Michael J. White.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Michael B. Jordan, the guy that did a great job, I thought, in Creed.
Yeah.
As Adonis.
Yeah, he didn't give us any clues as who he was going to be casting for anything, did he?
Right.
I don't think he did.
No. Well, and you know what? Spawn's been around long enough now. Because at that time, I mean, Spawn had basically been around because it showed up in 91.
Right.
And that movie was made in 97. Like, it was released in 97. So they were trying to come up with ways to put that flick together, probably in 95 or 96.
Yeah.
Like, when you're talking about the screenwriting process, they probably had about 4 years of comic books to go off of.
Right.
When they started that process. Now you're looking at 25 years to pull from. I think he could be somebody in his 20s and early 30s, or he could be in his 50s or 60s, or, you know what I mean? Like his daughter, Cyan, could be a little kid, or she could be an adult. I mean,
well, it's like the Spawn universe, man. I mean,
yeah.
There's so many characters, so much stuff going on. I like where Spawn's going now.
Yeah.
The new art team and stuff. That's great.
Yeah, it is great.
If they could make it like that, like right now, that'd be awesome.
I think something that would really help him out, too, is I'm a big fan, and I've said this before, when you take that Batman, the Dark Knight movie with Heath Ledger as the Joker, that kind of felt like this crime noir kind of a movie that happens to have Batman, and you know what I mean? But I think if you didn't necessarily have Batman, if it was some other character, that movie still kind of works. There's something about it that I think transcends it just being a superhero movie.
Yeah.
And similarly, the Captain America.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, the Winter. The Winter Soldier was like this international espionage kind of movie, but it also encapsulated, Captain America and all that. But I think that was a movie that was bigger than the superhero genre. And I guess what I'm saying is with this, I think it could go back to that gumshoe detective, because you could have Sam and Twitch in there, and that'd be a complete storyline in and of itself.
Right.
Kind of from their point of view.
Sam and Twitch. They even had their own little miniseries.
It went longer than a few issues, too. I think they had the regular series.
Did they have regular series?
I could be wrong, but...
I was looking in the back issue, Ben. Hint, come on in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different Spawn little spin-off series that I never even knew existed.
Yeah, Medieval Spawn, Hell Spawn.
Yeah, Curse of the Spawn, Turner Art.
Man, Charter Control Spawn, Unleaded Spawn.
New Gel Spawn.
Yeah, less filling Spawn, carb-free, gluten-free Spawn. Yeah.
With no MSG added.
Spawn gets grease out of your way. Spawn. Dawn Spawn. It's
Dawn Spawn.
Stop me before I spawn another Spawn reference.
Out of control.
Yeah, a good friend of Calling All Heroes Comics, a hero in his own right. Our good buddy David came in with his wife Heather, and just a sidebar, they're having a boy. They're really happy about
Yay.
that. So I just want to say congratulations, guys. There's the applause. All right, everybody keep it down. We're trying to do a podcast. But the reason I bring that up is he was in here earlier and he said, man, I'm having podcast withdrawal. You guys need to get back on it. You guys need to do something.
There we go.
It's been a
shouting
while.
it out to David.
So, yeah, we're shouting it out to David and Heather. And congratulations on that.
On your own baby spawn. Yeah. How about that? Yeah, and it's a boy spawn.
Stop me before I sub-spawn reference again.
There's no one here to stop us. We're out of control. Store's closed. Doors locked. Yeah.
They're just going to buzz us. They're going to say, school's out. All right. All right. Well.
What shall we talk about next week? I mean, we didn't really give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but I think I'm leaning to a thumbs down. And I know George is definitely thumbs down. I mean, it was okay, and I'm not like one of those.
If my thumb goes up, it's only going to be to scratch my ass in boredom.
Ooh. Never had to go there, didn't you? That's something I'm never going to be able to delete from my memory ever.
Go! Here, just
help me.
Eat that!
Eat this.
Leave us alone!
You know that Mista guy? I think I just killed her.
The noise of that air conditioner falls out the window, lands on her like, ah!
Mista! Get this thing off me!
Anybody else's fingers hurt?
You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
We're doing some arts and crafts right now.
It's been extended by 3.5 hours.
You just pulled yard duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt?
This is a separate podcast. It's a movie quote podcast.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to shamelessly plug and promote several other podcasts that are coming out of the house of Calling All Heroes Comics and their umbrella.
Yeah.
Many of which Tim's a part of. All right, guys. So here's what we got on Thursday nights. The Elite Pro Wrestling Alliance podcast is posted. The Elite Pro podcast every single Thursday night. We usually have a guest from professional wrestling. Last week was PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated photographer Tim Walker. This coming week is going to be some stories, and if you know the podcast the way we do, you know that there might be a little bit of alcohol and under the influence, so the stories get quick and the tongues get loose, and it's a good time. Also, this Saturday morning, we're doing the Calling All Heroes podcast after a week off.
Correct.
So we're coming back, and
I'll be here.
Yes, Tim will be here. I will be here. Kramer will be here. Walls will be here. It'll be all four guys covering
together again.
Yep, we got the artist, the super fan, the retailer, and the historian. Four separate viewpoints, four separate aspects, all coming together to talk about comic books.
We got lots of questions too.
Yeah, a bag of questions. I know what you're thinking.
Would you say they are a plethora of questions?
Yeah, Guapo, I'd say you have a plethora. What is a plethora? Why, Guapo? I would just hate to think that someone tells me that they have a plethora, only to find out that that person has no idea what it is to have a plethora. Pardon me, El Guapo. I realize that I don't have your advanced intellect and education, but could it be that once again you're upset at something else and looking to take it out on me? All right,
Classic.
Sorry. You're like, when's this going to end?
Classic. I want to get mine as a mail plane. Yeah.
How do you know?
A little red balls hanging off. Love it.
Oh, classic.
Next week we're going to review Three Amigos. We just did.
As if we haven't done it already.
We just did.
Anyway, where were we on that? So Saturdays.
Talking about the other podcast.
Yeah, Thursday's Elite Pro podcast. Saturday, Calling All Heroes Comics podcast. Right now, obviously, you hear us talking. It's Wednesday, but we'll be back Monday with next week, so we're going to get back on schedule.
I'm confused, but okay.
Monday, we're going to have the Calling All Heroes Movies Reviews podcast.
Yes.
So that'll be back on Mondays. We're a little late this week. Had a lot going on. Next week, we'll be back. And then also we have a new podcast we've been working on. It's going to be coming up. It's called Blood and Cheese, and it's about the gory and cheesy horror movies of the 70s, 80s, and very early 90s. So that'll be good stuff, too. Lastly, the one that I'm really stoked about, it's not going to be a regular thing, but it's more of like a Calling All Heroes podcast special. And that is, I've never seen it done before, but we're going to have a round table, and it's nothing but quotes.
Just shooting from the hip.
Shooting from the hip. Everybody goes around the room with quotes. And what I'm thinking is that anybody that's listening, it's probably going to be about an hour. There's going to be 5 or 6 of us. We're We're just going around the room, and it's pop culture quotes. It could be movies, TVs, cartoons, commercials, anything.
Any quotable thing.
Download this podcast, listen to it, and whoever sends us the most correct answers on that reference, we're going to go ahead and give the winner of that a $100 gift certificate to Calling All Heroes Comics. You can come in and buy anything you want, $100. So it's not like, hey, take this stack of stuff I can't sell. No. It's going to be, come in and pick out whatever you want. So we're going to do that.
Neat.
Okay, enough shameless self-promotion. Sorry, we kind of got off topic there.
It's
Talking about
man.
other podcasts during this podcast. Time to get back to this podcasting, or else we won't be able to podcast. And then no one will podcast anymore.
Feeling the flow.
Doing the bull dance.
Yeah.
Working it.
Working it.
Working it.
We're starting already.
I can't even look at you right now. Your voice like a cross between Fergie and Jesus.
Back.
You have to call me Dragon.
You have to call me Street Hawk.
Street Hawk.
Nighthawk, Street Hawk.
You have to call me Nighthawk. I'm going to take a pillowcase and fill it full of bars of soap and beat the shit out of you.
It's just like Cold Case Files.
Oh, Kimasabi. This is my house now.
Out of control. See, we're giving you a little taste of that. And the quotes
taste.
And the quotes don't even have to be right. They can be wrong, just like I did.
We don't blame you if you want to barf.
Yeah. We can do the quotes wrong, and you can call us on it.
I hold doing the quotes in high esteem. I will not be making a mistake in that.
I already got you on one, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it. What do you...
Gosh. I can't even look at you right now.
Oh.
That's not what he says, man.
Oh, what does he say?
I can't even have eye contact with you right now.
I can't even make eye contact with
That's
you
it.
right now.
That's it. Wrong. It
That's
just sounds better.
Well, that's for a
Your
long
quote
time.
sounds better.
Because I know Casas and Homondo 4, and it was reality. I think it's Cops doesn't start till 4.
Shark Week.
Dad, what are you doing in Shark Week?
All right, we're good. We're good now.
Times.
We're good now. We're back on track.
As much as we can be.
So let us know what you want us to do next Monday. Within realism. Since George kind of, screwed the pooch on the Spawn. We'll just let that go.
The bottom line here was...
He didn't want to watch it to begin with.
I didn't. I was looking for almost any reason not to watch it.
He didn't even skim it on IMDb. He didn't even do that. Like, how lazy is that?
I was looking for any excuse not to watch it. It turns out I had about 10,000 excuses this week.
Yeah, that lame excuse that he had to move. I mean, who does that? Come on. Yeah, people move all the time.
And they still watch shitty Spawn, the shitty Spawn movie.
I'm moving right now in my seat. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, boy, this one really got off the tracks.
It's okay.
I think
I've
it's
enjoyed
so fun.
It's been a drought. We needed to get together. It's therapeutic. Laughter, therapeutic. Yeah.
And hopefully there are folks out there that listen to it.
Jury duty, blackmail.
That's the cool thing, though, about a podcast is...
Caught you off guard with that, didn't I?
That's the cool thing about a podcast, is the idea that I always look at it like it's a conversation that's happening in your car that maybe you can't interject in, but you're right there listening and going along with it. Yeah. And to me...
This basically is a conversation between me and you. We've just got something recording it.
Yeah.
Because we talk about this stuff all the time anyway, so...
Right.
You guys are just benefiting from it. Okay?
Yeah. And
you may need therapy later, but you're benefiting from it.
Well, that and anybody that's still listening is obviously on board. So,
right.
If you didn't like it, you're not listening. And in which case, I would just say to go yourself and don't worry about it.
One of us. One of us. You're one of us now.
You are. All right. Well, as we approach the 20-minute mark of our contractually obligated 20 minutes that we are required to fill on this in order for me to get that measly paycheck that comes through the mail from the good people at Spreaker.
Contract? Badgers? We don't need any stinking badgers.
Stinking badgers. Today we are teaching poodles how to fly. A lot of people don't know this, but turtles are nature's suction cup.
Gonad the librarian.
Can you tell me where to find a book on astronomy? Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System?
Girl.
$85, $91. Thanks, mister. You gave me that double dime Denverment penny. Dude, that was gonna be one of my quotes too on the quote podcast.
Well, now you're giving a little taste.
You idiot!
I want my $2. That's one of mine.
Does this look like a number 2 pencil?
I want my $2.
Did you know that the dude that was his son, R.J. Fletcher's son in UHF, was also Zombie in Pee-wee's Playhouse?
I did not. I know that now.
Yeah, that's him.
A useless bit of information. I can use that on Jeopardy someday.
For real.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually the same.
Pee-wee category comes up. I'll be in good shape.
The Pee-wee category. That reminds me of...
I'll take the rapist for 20.
The penis might, yeah. I'll take ape shit.
May God have mercy on your soul.
You may have noticed I've taken in a lot of TV.
Mate, just a wee bit.
No, what I was going to tell you there was that when we were at the house when we had cable 700 years ago, my wife would always be watching Jeopardy, and she's really good at it. I mean, she just nailed it every time. But a little piece of me would always die whenever she'd go, "Hey, hurry up, come in here! Hurry up!" And I'd run in why? She goes, "I'm watching Jeopardy. There's a Star Wars category." Look, they said it's going to be elementary school books. So I can't handle any of the other topics, but there's a Star Wars category.
Thanks for including me, honey.
It'll be great. Thanks, Matt Damon. Did you ever see Team America: World Police?
The bits and pieces of it.
You need to watch that movie. We need to review that movie.
Okay. All right.
Matt Damon. Okay. Well, now we really have to go.
We've tried this many times today.
To get past this and
to be done.
All right. Well, I guess
it's like
it's time to
breaking
go.
down what's that fourth wall, kind of like Ferris Bueller. Go home.
Bueller.
Go home. Dweebs. I used to know that whole thing. I can't remember any of it now. Dickheads, dweebs. They all love him.
I was just thinking of remember I'm trying to watch the words.
Trying to watch the words, yeah. Okay.
Remember Tiny from Revenge of the Nerds. Nerds!
Hell yeah.
And then the dude that later played in The West Wing, Bradley Whitford is his name, because he was the dude that was the douchebag in Nerds. But then he later played an older douchebag that was trying to win the company in Billy Madison. At the end, it was trying to win or whatever.
Yeah, with that laugh.
Yeah, when he falls.
Does that laugh.
And when he falls. Yeah, when he fell over. Remember this guy's? See that guy's balls? They were weird looking. On the weird looking ball note, we're going to hit the road. Here's the music that has nothing to do with us or our generation. For Calling All Heroes Comics, I'm George.
I'm Tim.
And we will see you, not at the movies, but right here at Calling All Heroes Comics.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Are you still there, Tim?
Go home.
All right, bye.